My name is Stephanie Arnold, and I am 42 years young. I met my husband just a few years ago, had my first child about 2.5 years ago, and our second child we got pregnant with last October. At 20 weeks, I was told I had a placenta previa that was complete, which means the placenta's growing on top of the cervix. I had some concern, but the doctor's like, well, that's normal, you'll just have a C-section at 37 weeks.
I was fortunate enough to speak with Stephanie on the phone, actually, in a pre-anesthetic consultation. A pre-anesthetic consultation is a consultation in which we're able to address any questions that the patient may have, but also address any medical concerns that the patient may have based on past medical history or past surgical history. We can formulate a plan that is tailored to their needs and the needs of the surgery.
I explained my situation and my fears, and she said, this is plan A with the anesthesia. This is what will happen if there's an emergency. This is where you will recover. I felt a lot better after talking with her because I had a handle on what was going to happen in case of an emergency. I was in Chicago. I had given my daughter breakfast, and I was moving some things around the kitchen, and I felt what seemed like a period cramp. And I'm like, this is not right. And within 30 seconds of feeling that, I bled all over the floor.
The obstetrician saw her right away, and they decided then that she needed to have the baby in order to maintain a margin of safety for her and the child.
My husband was in New York, and I called him and I said, you need to get on a plane because we're having this baby today.
I rushed back to Chicago, and along the way was speaking to my wife, texting her, IMing her from the plane, and getting updates all the way up until the point that she was rolling down the hall in the gurney to the delivery room.
Anesthesia was telling me vitals are fine, or telling the doctors the vitals are fine. The doctor's like, we're ready to go. Nobody could have predicted what would happen next.
Jacob was born, and he was perfectly fine. He was taken over to the warmer, and then the next thing I know, I'm hearing the resident physician call Stephanie's name. You know, Stephanie, Stephanie.
It must have happened in seconds. My lungs shut down, and the heart stopped beating, and my blood pressure dropped to 0. It was only a few seconds. I was dead for 37 seconds.
All of this looked to paint a picture of something called an amniotic fluid embolism, which essentially is a medical emergency. It's very rare, but can occur during a delivery period. Amniotic fluid embolism has a poor outcome associated with it. Up to 50% are estimated to actually die from the syndrome, and a majority of patients, if they survive, may have cognitive delays or long-term medical problems.
I asked the nurses to bring in what we call the crash cart. We started medications to bring her blood pressure back, to support her heart function, to put her in a state of unconsciousness that we could then take over her breathing, and we proceeded to do everything we needed to save her life.
I was transferred to ICU. I was out of it, on life support. I had started dialysis. I was obese with fluid. I had severe edema.
I took pictures every day. I told her every day, even though she was unconscious, what was going on.
When they extubated me, I had a lot of equipment on me and around me, and I woke up, everything was blurry. And I looked down, and I was still huge. I said, am I still pregnant?
It was a shock to my wife to learn that 6 days had elapsed and she'd entered the hospital. It was a shock to my wife that she'd given birth.
Then all of the images of my daughter, my stepdaughter, my son, everything just came through in this wave of, oh my God, this could have been like the last time I would have ever seen you.
That information that we had in place because of the preoperative consultation saved Stephanie's life. We had everything in place that we needed to treat her immediately.
I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have two very, very seasoned, experienced physician anesthesiologists the day that I went into the hospital.
We have extensive knowledge about things that can go wrong in the operating room and how to correct those problems.
And it was because of that my wife is able to see my daughter get dropped off at her first day of school, see our little son day to day growing and developing, cooing. Those are all the wonders of day-to-day life.
I am grateful now for every little thing and more acutely aware of waking up and getting to hold them and being able to kiss them or being able to hold my husband's hand. I have a second chance at life. I don't know how to explain that. I know I was unlucky to have the AFE, but I was extremely lucky to have survived it.